Everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name is Josh. Thanks for joining me today. Well, Matt and Abby have a new podcast out and people have been like, you gotta watch this. Apparently they had a big fight. Matt's getting roasted by his haters. Like, roasted. He was apparently a total D-bag. And we'll find all that out now while we snark on their video. So, let's go. So we left off with Matt and Abby. I think the last one they did, they were like, I actually started being like, okay, I might like Abby. I became more aware that she just doesn't really like this. She doesn't want to be a part of this as much. She likes the money, of course. She likes all this stuff. But if she could have this money and this lifestyle without doing the fame thing, she absolutely would go for it. But Matt is the fame hungry, money hungry guy. He's the one that drives this whole thing. He thinks people are coming for him. They're not. So and we went over a song and his apparent talent. Just like, it's okay. I usually try to encourage people, you know, even if you're not good, you're like, yeah, that was really good. I remember that I was a pastor and I had over 100 volunteers that worked under my worship team. So I had vocalists and everybody and had to train people and had to get people on. And some people would have to audition and you're like, that's real nice, but you should try out for the parking team. You just had to be good. I always want to encourage people to sing because singing is awesome, right? But if you're a dickbag, maybe stop singing, okay? Anyway, so let's get to this video. It's going to be a long one. It's like so long. It's like an hour, but we're going to skip, obviously.
You should lean in the direction of breastfeeding, but with all the corals, does that make me a weirdo that I think it's so hot when your boobs are out and you're breastfeeding my baby?
No.
Did he say that out loud? Did he say that out loud? Everybody, did I just hear what I heard?
It makes sense, I guess.
I think it's hot.
How dare you?
I don't even know what to think of that. No, I don't know. Like, whenever my wife was breastfeeding, I was like, oh, this is so hot right now. It ain't for you, dude. You put her into this mess. It's for the baby. And for the time being when that baby's breastfeeding, I mean, that's the priority. It's weird to me.
I'm just kidding.
What's up, dude?
Shut up, dudes.
Everyone's comments about my song. We posted the music video yesterday at the time of filming this, and you guys are just...
Wait, he posted a music video? Are you serious? So he's actually trying to pursue this thing. Well, I made a comment I made on my community post. I said this, look, all these guys, sometimes they want a box, but all of us, I'm overweight, right? And a lot of these guys are like 40 pounds lighter than me. And there's no way I'm going to drop 40 pounds for a boxing match, okay? And they're not coming up 40 pounds. So here's what I propose to all these jerkwads who like want to pursue the fame of being a musician. Some of them can sing, some of them got some talent. Like, let's do a good old-fashioned battle of the bands. When I was up at Storytime, when I was up and coming in my band, everybody had a band, first of all. And I'm not sure how it goes now. Maybe people are still doing bands. But when I was growing up, when I was younger, even in my, like, I started a band when I was 29, okay? So I was still an old guy. But there were so many predatory companies out there and people that would run these shows to come play live. And it was the battle of the bands. And the bands would have to pay to be a part of these shows. And you sell tickets to these shows, you don't get a kickback. It was so predatory and probably is still predatory like that. Record deals were the same way. People don't actually make a ton of money in the industry. Like the top 1%, the cream of the crop, they make money. But bands who are hustling out there barely make ends meet. I promise you that. Even the ones you think are successful, probably barely making ends meet. Okay? But all that to say is that we used to do battle of the bands. Even though you had to do the tickets, you still had to do, it's called paying your dues. It's called grinding. And you grind as a band, especially as you're coming up. That's just the way it is. And it makes it all the more sweet when you start getting paid. And we did eventually, right? So I proposed to these dickholes, let's do a good old fashioned battle of the bands. We'll rent a big space. You guys have tons of fans and it can't be I can make it fan generated, I guess, but it's got to be judge generated. Because if you got 2 million subscribers and I got 200,000, I'll kick your ass on stage, but your fans are going to vote for you. We're not doing fan votes. Okay, I want a judge panel that's going to be impartial to talk about who's going to win this thing, right? And let's go. Okay, I am not the best singer. I promise you that. I would not win on the best singing category, but damn it. Stage presence. You guys are going to just get destroyed. So let's do this. Battle the bands. Let's go. Let's start a new trend when YouTubers have beef. Battle the bands. Are you guys in? None of them will be in, but are you? That would be so much fun, man. That was so much fun.
Been so kind. So thank you. We just have the best community on here. We really appreciate you guys. You're so kind. And thank you to everybody.
You got roasted there, Matty boy. by everybody and your fans. So are you sure you wanted to say that? Okay, just checking.
That's gone to Spotify and actually like listened to it. It's crazy to see that you guys are actually listening to the song.
It's so good. It literally gets stuck in my head all the time, and then I'm like,
No, you're lying.
oh yeah,
It's not that good, guys. Come on, be real.
Matt wrote this song and sings this song.
It meant a lot to
It's
me.
just so professional.
And Matt doesn't wear pants that cover his balls, so it's weird, right?
I don't know why, but it meant a lot to me. Like my older brother, he was never like an artsy kid. He played football. I was taking ballet in high school. You know, like told me that he cried listening to it. So that really meant a lot.
I knew that would mean so much to you.
Yeah. But
I talk about this a lot. You're like, you get feedback from a lot of people, like,
Yeah.
but nothing means as much as like, I feel like your older brother.
there's something.
That's nice. Your song's not that good, Matt. Relax. I think everybody's blowing smoke up his ass too much, and now he thinks he's a rock star. Sorry, buddy. You're not there yet. And you won't be there. Ever. Like, ever. Okay? You didn't put your grind in. You didn't pay your dues. So you don't get to, like, be like, I'm in a band. Nah, you're not. Okay? You had one song you wrote, and you got mass-produced by, like, probably paid thousands and thousands of dollars for a producer to produce that, who didn't even want to produce that shit. You just gave him money. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. Whatever. That's what happened there.
There's something to be said there. Yes, I do. I definitely
Which is
value.
like crazy.
What about these mugs? These Stanleys? That's bigger than her torso. You get, like... how do you carry that everywhere?
Like, that's how Augie's probably going to view Griffin.
That's true. Yeah,
Probably not.
that's true. There's something about
You know how your kids are going to view you guys? Bunch of a-holes. That's how.
that sibling bond. Something you said to me earlier this week was husbands don't understand. Like they just don't.
No.
They don't understand the emotion. They don't understand. What
I
you're
think
going
what
through.
she's trying to say is, Matt, you don't understand. Because you are self-absorbed, narcissistic, and an a-hole. That's what she means. You can't just lump all guys into one. Because I understand some shit. And plus, you've already had a baby. So what do you mean you don't understand? You've experienced it once. Are you telling me the second time it was worse? Nah, man. Nah. You're a veteran now. You should be better at it.
And so, help me understand the emotional roller coaster that you've been going through, that you're currently going through.
So, first of all, I want to say I'm doing a lot better.
Okay.
And that's why I am very hesitant to use the word like postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety for me, because I first of all know that that's like a formal diagnosis.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
also like I
like how self-aware she is when she says something like this, because most people would be like, I'm like postpartum everything. She's like, look, it's probably not that. And I don't want to say that because it's like I wish more influencers were as self-aware as she is. I wish she had a better voice. But so far, again, I don't have a ton of beef against Abby. I honestly believe that she doesn't want to be a part of this. She does it for her husband. She sports, blah, blah, blah. It's all Maddie here. So if, I'm stuck on an island and I get to choose, I'm taking Abby. Okay? I mean, she has to stay on the other side. I don't want to hear her voice or anything, but she'll get to survive the apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? Matt can suck it.
think that what I have constitutes that diagnosis, but basically I tend to call it like baby blues. Because it just is so circumstantial and it is temporary, and I can feel like it already lifting, and I'm kind of like out of that fog. So I'm doing.
It's nice to have things lifted when you're millionaires and buy whatever you want and get nannies to take care of everybody, and they have their parents now living with them, so they got some support. I feel like baby blues, and I don't want to like diagnose anything, but the baby blues, the postpartum stuff, it really is dependent. I think, not all the time, but I think it can be hinged upon the amount of support and aftercare you get from when your baby's born. If you feel like you're on an island by yourself and your husband's not supporting you, don't have any family support around you, I feel like that is going to definitely add to that. And so they don't have any of that. They don't have the worries most people have. They don't have to go back to work in 3 weeks. Canada, we have 18 months, but you know what I mean? In America, they can be with this child full time forever. So there's not the same amount of worries, and I'm glad she's recognizing it. But I'm just saying, there's a lot in the circumstances when it comes to postpartum that's not just hormonal, but I mean that's added on top of everything. You know what I'm saying?
A lot better now. But I was saying husbands do not understand because you have I told myself I'm not gonna cry this
Don't you dare cry then. Don't say things and then start crying. Okay?
episode.
Hey, if you do, it's okay.
No, I don't want to.
But if you don't
No, we don't want you to either.
want to, that's okay too.
Shut up, Matt. You're such a loser on camera. There's no way this guy's like this to his wife when the camera's off. No way.
This.
It's
You
okay.
can do it.
It's worth it to talk about it. Basically,
Let's cry.
When you, it's like I
Let's turn this
have
up a bit.
gone from being the sole provider and like home for our son for 9 months.
What?
And then all of a sudden,
yeah.
he's like literally cut out of my body, and my body does not know how to respond hormonally.
Yeah.
Like, it's a crazy shift, and it's also just like, it's so emotional to think that like now he's just like out in the world and susceptible to everything. Like,
Predators on your channel, is that what you mean to say? Okay.
there's evil in the world. There's
Yeah, there
evil
is.
in the world. Like,
And you put your kids in front of it, and you have not deleted your videos of your children from that evil of the world you're talking about. Just so we're all clear here.
it's just scary to think that he's susceptible to all that, and it's sad that that stage is over, and then it's just like a huge shift. And dads go through transitions of their own, but like, it's just you can't understand that massive hormonal change all at once. I saw on Instagram.
What are some sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but what are some irrational
Sorry, I don't interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt.
thoughts that you've been having? Because you mentioned the other day that there are random things that you'll think that just don't even make sense, like weird fears that you have of something bad that could happen to
So
your
when I
baby.
get mad, like if he, like I'm like, wake me up if it's been this amount of time, then he hasn't eaten, and then I don't get woken up, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like his blood sugar dropped, and he's not okay. Like,
That's from my band days, if you're wondering. That is a custom molded in-ear. That's my band logo from my band days. So this was when I was touring. I only use one ear. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to use 2 ears. So don't do what I do. But I only use one ear. So like $2,000 headphones, and those though, if you get both and you're flying and you have a bad time flying, get custom molded earplugs or in-ears if you want, and that will make it so your ears don't hurt. It's a miracle. Okay, but my dog chewed the other one. Thanks, Gus.
Constantly check to see that he's breathing, which is like so dark, because like I guess that's the irrational thought that he's like died. Like that happens, or like I don't know, like what if I trip or like literally I left him sitting in a little baby carrier thing, or it was like his little trap.
You left him? That's nice.
Little bassinet. And then I'm like, what if that flew off the couch and he's face planted on the hard floor?
I remember driving home from the hospital.
What if aliens came down and abducted your baby? Like, I get that. Like, they're just saying shit everybody goes through.
And in fact, there's some people that have like a condition. I'm not going to speak on it like I actually know this condition, but it's where you have like a strong emotional, like a very strong emotional response to like when your milk is letting down. Like when, like, you don't know what letdown is like when your milk just like
expresses?
Starts flowing.
Yes.
And so some people like actually have to stop breastfeeding because it is linked directly to like depressing thoughts, or like thoughts of like rage even. Like,
oh gosh,
there's something hormonal about it. And also I think it can release like oxytocin too. I feel like it can affect women so differently. It's like mama bear, where it's just like, it's not me anymore. It's just like, get this baby into a place where he is comfortable and happy and healthy and thriving. And
babies cry, lady. You already have one of these, right? Am I correct? They have one? Weird.
It's like, I don't care about anything else.
And when I would suggest to use formula, what was your...
So he's pulling it out of her. So when I said this thing and you snapped at me, what happened?
Betraying me.
Okay.
It was like you were...
So I guess she's talking about how hard it is to breastfeed sometimes, blah, 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 and the milk, whatever. But now she's like, apparently she's pumping like 14 times the amount of milk the baby needs. I don't know. When I suggested formula, what'd you say? You
like
betrayed
not aligned.
me.
Betrayal is a strong word, so like literally in your mind you're thinking,
yeah, I was like,
he doesn't care.
Dare you? You're the enemy.
I'm the enemy for suggesting formula.
Yeah.
You bastard.
It felt like you're working against me.
Really? Okay.
Which is why I suggested, I was like, you need to talk to the lactation consultant about how you can be a good partner to a breastfeeding woman.
She's mad. And probably because he's a dickhole and he wears too many rings. But yeah, she's probably got a right to be mad.
I know that you in your heart thought that you were doing the best thing by suggesting that and like relieving me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't doing that. It was adding more. Because I was like, okay, things aren't working with the baby. And now things aren't working with my husband. And so it's like, I wanted us all to be aligned and like working together. And so those are certain things that like feel like they undermined.
Are we talking about our big fight right now? Is that what this is?
I want to know.
Well, we've had several fights about that. But yeah, that was the big one.
That was the first one.
In the hospital?
Yeah. When you told me to leave the room, you told me to leave because you wanted some space for a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Or was it just like you wanted to see how I'd respond?
You're in trouble,
I think in my heart of hearts, I wanted you to step outside and then come to this amazing realization that, like, oh, this isn't about me right now.
I'm a dick. Am I the dick? You're the dick, Matt.
Okay.
Like, Abby's going through it, and she is just trying to be the best mom she can be.
So, Abby wants Matt to read her mind, is what she's saying here. I want you to step out and get out. And so he gets out, and she's like, and I want you to be like, come back and be like, I had this epiphany about how to be better. Have you seen this guy? He wears too many rings. So, again, one more, that's just, come on, let's be real. That is not an expectation you're allowed to have as a person. Expecting your spouse to read your mind? Come on! Not allowed to say that. That's not fair.
And we're aligned in the same journey. And so
You are aligned in the same journey. You want to have a baby that's healthy and go. So you're sort of aligned. How you get there is different.
I want you to come right back in, like, maybe a minute later.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I see that you're struggling.
Have you seen this guy? He's a dickhead. He is a narcissistic butt crack. You thought he was going to come in and be like, I'm sorry. I am humbled.
And I want to come alongside you in that.
So when I walked across
So when
the
you
street
left the
to
hospital,
go get donuts, I went to go get us donuts.
there was...
So, let me get this straight. She told him to leave, right? But wanted him to read her mind, to say, come on in, I'm wrong, you're right, blah, blah, blah. But when you left to go get me donuts, OMG, you're divorced. Divorced.
I never saw a donut.
Because they were out. How is Dunkin Donuts out of donuts?
Don't talk about Dunkin Donuts like that. I love Dunkin Donuts.
It's literally in the title. I'm like,
If you gotta, like, unstick your ball sack on a podcast, cut to the close scene then, okay?
wait a second, you're Dunkin'.
And then he sniffed his fingers. Just so you guys are aware what just happened right now, this guy, and I'll rewind it a hair. Okay.
Beside you in that.
Watch
So when
Matt.
I walked across
So
He just pulled a Josh Doherty.
when
Watch.
you
Street
left the
to go get
hospital,
donuts.
Here we go, ready?
I went to go get us donuts.
I never saw a donut.
because
There
they were
is-
out. How is Dunkin Donuts out of donuts?
Don't
It's
talk about
literally-
Dunkin Donuts like that. I love Dunkin Donuts.
It's literally in the title.
Ball lift or socks?
I'm like, wait a second. You're
Sniff. He sniffed. He sniffed his nuts.
Dunkin Donuts.
You could have gotten me bagel minis.
They didn't have anything. They were completely out of donuts, bagels. I'm like,
You're lying, Matt. He went across the street to play poker or something.
what even is this place at this point? You know what I'm saying? That's like
I
McDonald's
don't
running out of
believe you.
hamburgers.
I don't
I
believe you.
swear to you, they did not have donuts.
They didn't have bagel
We don't
minis.
believe you, Matt.
Left
Nothing.
everything bagel minis.
Nothing. Maybe, okay, they might have had the bagel minis. But yeah,
They
you
don't
told
have
He just,
those
he
bagel
just
minis.
damn lied.
Heat those up.
He
Wait,
just
wait.
damn well lied. They didn't have a bagel man. Okay, maybe they had him. Liar. Liar. Tiny shorts and too many rings on fire.
it got heated, so you're like, I need you to leave. And so I was like, okay, I want to be respectful of what you need right
Whenever
now.
I say I need
Whatever. Like Matt's gonna be like, when she gets pissed at him, he's like, okay, namaste, I will leave and respect you. F off. This guy does not act like that. This guy, nope. No chance. No
you to
chance.
leave, I just want you to, like,
The problem
Again, and then she's back with this craziness. I don't want you to leave. I want you to leave and come back and be apologetic. But I said leave. But you didn't read my mind, dickhead.
is
not leave action.
That's crazy. Don't do that to your husband if you're out there. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. That's not helpful to anybody, including yourself. Because you are going to be let down every time if you want somebody to read your mind. Because I don't know if you knew this. Nobody can read anybody's minds.
the way, and look, I'm working on it, okay? But like, I need, with communication, I need like clear, direct communication. So if you say leave, I'm like, oh,
Why are you telling this to each other on the podcast? Why don't you tell us to each other in real life? If you're in a hospital, I need clear communication from you. What do you want? Why are you doing it on the podcast? They always break it down later on. It's really weird.
oh, she wants me to leave, so I'm going to leave. But I think it was more
What
complex
am I
than
gonna
that.
say? Hey Matt, I need you to step outside for 1 minute and then come back in and say that you're completely wrong and that you want to hear how I'm feeling emotionally.
Actually, yes, that'd have been
Yep. So she's saying there's all this complex shit, and she thinks he's gonna get that by himself, and knowing he's not going to. Like, what is he given? What proof is he giving you that he's gonna do that? Your expectations are wildly out of order.
great if you could have told
You
me
would
that.
have done it.
That
You
would
were
be
so
great.
mad you would not have done
When
it.
you give me very clear instructions, I'm like, thank you. Like, because it just helps me, because then I don't have to read your mind. It's so much easier for me.
You act like you would have done it if I said it, but you wouldn't have.
No, if you would have said, hey, can you step out for 2 minutes and then come back and we can, like, talk through this again, that would have been like, oh, yeah, totally.
No, you wouldn't have. You're a dickhead.
I don't think that was.
This guy's acting like he was all cheery through the whole thing. Like, oh, no problem. This guy was angry. He was upset too. Don't get it twisted. He's trying to come across like he wasn't mad.
I was just as disappointed as you were that they were out of donuts. I knew that.
I did not care about donuts. But I was like, if you're gonna leave, I just.
Your parent.
Okay, I'm sorry, Abby, but you told him to leave and he left. So you don't get to be mad about that. Sorry.
Parents came in the room right after that, and I feel like that was really good.
It
was bad.
Well, it was good and bad.
I feel like when your parents are present, it's good because it helps calm the situation. With any parent, if it's my parents,
really,
your parents for another couple, because then it's like you don't. I think emotions aren't brought into it as much. It's more of just like a logical conversation.
You mean you're hiding your emotions and you're trying to like hide things? That's not helpful.
And I feel like that's easier to work with. So your parents were there, and you were expressing how you felt, and I was expressing to you that I cared about your needs.
That was sad.
Aw.
Wow, he didn't even know any of this shit, man. Maybe tell him.
It was sad.
Why
that he went to get donuts?
Why was it sad?
I don't want to cry on every freaking podcast episode.
Listen, Abby, all you do is cry. So just be reserved, just be resigned to it, and just effing cry. Let's get on with the shit.
You're making me tear up a little bit.
No, you're not. You don't. You look at your mug. You don't give a shit.
Why?
I don't know. You seem really defeated in a way. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, she was defeated because you're a dick.
No, I'm not defeated. It was just sad because I think it was like the first time where like I was like,
I hate this guy.
You can't be everything for me, you know?
Yeah.
That's harsh to hear. Ooh, that's a bit of a burn, not gonna lie. Honest, but ooh, because we can't be everything to everybody. We want to be, but I get that. But man, would you say that to your spouse? Like, I know you, like, oh, that hurts. That cut him deep if he was actually listening. You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife's like, you can't be everything I need. She would never say it to me. I mean, I know I can't, and she can't be everything I need, but I would never be like, hey, you know that? You just can't be everything I need. Okay, bye. I'm going to pickleball now. Like, that's a harsh dig. I'm sorry. That was like, that hits. Because it did. Okay, I know he's a dickhead, and yes, he deserves all the vitriol and everything else, but he was trying. She told him to leave, and he laughed. So, I mean, damn. I'm torn here.
And, like, in that time, I needed my mom.
Yeah.
And that was the first time since I was, like, 18 where I was like, gosh, I really needed my mom right now.
Yeah. Where was your mom then?
Like, she knew exactly what I had been through, and that's why community is so important, like, to be with other moms.
Stop crying all the time.
And to, like, talk about these things. I think it's really easy to see other moms killing it, and that's encouraging also and important. Like,
yeah, but all the moms you're seeing on social media killing it and doing all this stuff, they're faking it, right? And if you think it's important to see it because it inspires you to do it, it actually has the opposite effect, because you can never stack up and be like that because it is unachievable, and what they're showing you is fake, which is super, super bad for everybody. And your, like, ego and your confidence and all shit. So, like, I know what she's saying, but she's wrong.
But then it can feel lonely.
He's like, yeah, keep talking.
When you're going through something that everyone pretty much goes through, but no one's talking about it, and you're like, man, why am I struggling?
Man, her voice gets worse when she cries.
Like, why can't I pull myself up by the bootstraps and get there? And so, such a strong woman, and like, she did this, and she also was telling me how she felt the same way.
Even the baby's like, oh my god, can you have children sleep here?
And she was kind of like talking about how it was hard for her to understand her own emotions postpartum and like all those things.
He's not listening to anything you're saying right now. I mean, neither am I. I'm not gonna lie. Inside my brain is this.
Because I think you also got to hear a conversation, and you got to like.
He wasn't listening. He wasn't listening to the conversation. I'm telling you, this guy was super pissed about everything too, and you're like, I hope this listening to be better. He's not listening. He's pissed.
I don't know, what was that like hearing that conversation?
It was really sweet. It was really sweet to have your parents there.
What did she say, Matt? Well, she said something about babies. There was something about like love you, and there's a hug. I think. Well, I don't know, something. Like, ask him what she said.
Came at the perfect time. They really did. They really, really did, and it was sweet. The nurses were very helpful because I know you were very emotional, and the nurses came in and were consoling you a little bit.
They're like, look, consoling her. We're looking at you like this, asshole.
And I was
trying to get donuts,
consoling you as well.
And they're consoling her. Why is there so many rings on? Does he wear longer shorts? There's the dress code here.
Hard not
But-
to be embarrassed in
and
that time.
I also want you to see my perspective too, because
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what's it like for a dad
Yeah. Forget about you.
to watch their wife go through like
well, it would.
a hormonal breakdown?
I'll be honest, it was really hard.
Yeah.
Because not only was I trying to take care of you, but I was also trying to take care of our baby.
I was also trying to get donuts.
And so I'm like, look, I know how important it is for Abby to breastfeed right now. I know it's really, really.
Are they still talking about this? See, that's how zoned out I got. Are they still talking about breastfeeding? Holy
She
shit.
wants to do this, but I also got to make sure that my baby's getting fed. And so when he wasn't latching, and there's lots of crying, and just it was not a good situation. I just wanted our baby to be fed, and I'm like, I know that
There is nothing that would cause more divisive tension in anybody's world than a crying baby that you can't console. Okay? It is literally, it attacks every human, like, I don't even know what the word is, but every synapse in your brain, everything else, it is so crazy how humans react to crying babies, considering all you want to do is make them like comfortable and happy and everything. So I get what she's saying there, but like when that's going on and you guys are still pissed at each other, like that's just a recipe for effing disaster.
formula is not the end of the world, and we'll probably just do some formula, and then our kid will eventually figure out how to breastfeed. But in those moments, I was like, man, we just need to make sure that he's being fed, because it's
Or trust your doctors, trust them, trust your doctors. That's a thing you could do too.
because with all the screaming and crying and the intensity of the situation, it wasn't helping you, it wasn't helping our son. And so that's why I did suggest formula. But then to you, that was like, wow, he doesn't care about the breastfeeding journey.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about my baby, because breastfeeding is the best thing for my baby. So I think from your perspective, me suggest
How about just feeding your baby is the best thing for your baby? How about that? Because you guys are talking real crazy here. There's a lot of people who cannot breastfeed, and you guys are really digging into this topic. And there are a lot of people who are really, really hurt about that situation, because I think every mother would love to be able to breastfeed, because it's just the most natural, healthy thing. So, but at the same time, they're really digging into that, like, they're getting borderline shaming those who can't do it, where she's saying things like, you offered formula and that's a betrayal. And what are you telling your fans, your millions of fans out there who can't? I'm just saying, you guys have a platform.
formula was like, wow, he's the enemy, when really I was just trying to do the best thing for you and our son in that situation.
Yeah, and I get that now, but I think in the time everything just felt different because of hormones, like the intensity of the situation.
We actually had to stay at the hospital an extra day with our first son because of the breastfeeding situation. I think a lot of new babies come out and they don't understand.
I think both of our babies were just not patient because my milk hadn't come in yet. Neither one of them really cared about colostrum.
Well, they're a Howard, and Howards eat a lot of food.
Yeah, well, so does
you.
Mama.
So does Mama. We eat a ton of food, and so our kids are just hungry, and so they weren't getting their food immediately.
That's stupid that you're saying that. Stupid.
You see how fast I eat. I'm a very fast eater.
Colostrum is very thick, and it's there's not a lot of it, so then
and they're like, what the crap is this?
They just want to guzzle.
They're like, I don't want a little snack. I want a full course meal. What the crap is this?
No.
So I think both of our kids were just frustrated as heck, because they wanted to eat a lot.
Because it takes 3 days.
And your milk wasn't it wasn't pouring out like it is now. Now, oh my gosh, you have so much supply. We literally have 4.
And now they get into that. Wow, now you're the best breastfeeder on earth, man. F all those other moms.
Gallons of frozen breast milk in our
Gallons of it.
deep freeze.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible. That's insane. You deserve an award.
Okay, I have studied this because also I was with our first, I was blaming myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making myself have too much milk, because there are things you can do to kind of change how much milk you're making, change your supply. But there's also, it turns out there are some people that are just oversuppliers, and I think that's me. So
Yeah.
not blaming myself this time around.
You do have crazy.
Why would you blame yourself for making more milk than you need? That's silly. You know how many people out there would die for that, and you can donate it? You should be, you know what? I'm a superhero because I make more milk. I can help other people. That's awesome.
supply, and I thought it was funny.
It's weird. I'm not trying to like throw under the bus what you feel guilty for because you can't help it, but like it is insanity.
Differing opinions on the use of nipple shields. If you guys know what a nipple shield is, it's like this silicone little shield that goes over your nipple to help protect your nipple, and it makes it easier, I would say, for the baby to latch.
Yes.
And so you've had a lot of success with those. You used the nipple shield the whole entire time you breastfed our first son, Griffin. By the way, this is not medical advice. We're not doctors. We're just regular people.
You're not a doctor with all your rings? That's weird. I thought you were a doctor.
People talking about regular
What's worked
stuff.
for us.
What's worked for us. But you brought that up. The lactation specialist heard you.
Oh my God, there's this whole
So
thing's about
high,
breast. This should just be
and-
called breast milk video.
And my baby's still so new and figuring out the world so much. I'm like, I'm just going to make things as easy on us as possible because it's already like a stressful enough time.
Totally.
That's how I feel about it. But I knew that to a core we had the same goal. It was just so frustrating that we couldn't find the same means to that goal.
Yeah.
And I couldn't express how I was feeling, and I also definitely.
Oh, they're still talking about this.
You gotta, and I wish I could go back and tell myself this, but you gotta just have the thickest skin when it comes. Any husbands listening, I'm sure.
And I couldn't express how I was feeling, and I also definitely couldn't listen to you express how you're feeling. So it's
Because you're a dickhead.
just a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
We were just at odds.
that was the weirdest thing. Is like we both.
She's laying it thick, man. You are not what I need, and you're a dumpster fire. Thanks, honey. Like, remember 40-Year-Old Virgin when she yells at him in the kitchen, and she's right before she like hates him, and Paul Rudd's like holding the cake, and she like totally berates him, and all of a sudden he's like, "Happy birthday!" That's the walkout. That's what's happening right here.
wanted the same exact thing.
And it was so frustrating.
Good
because I
though. You know
wanted
what?
to be
Maybe she doesn't get to say this, and she feels like this is a release on this podcast to be able to say this without having any repercussions because he's on camera. That's got to mean something.
the most at bliss.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's what you see in the movies, right? Like
Yeah.
you see the husband and wife like have their baby and they're happier than they've ever been, like happily ever after. And
Yeah.
then we were having our
We almost divorced.
worst fight of our life.
And you guys, I just want to make a PSA for any.
Here's a PSA for all husbands. Don't add to the stress of that. She's already gone through massive amounts of trauma. Like unless he's like not engaging in the fight and she wants the fight, then there's not really much you can say about it. But it sounds like he was fighting back because she just said they were in the worst fight of their life. If your wife just gave birth, okay, humble yourself. Okay, humble your damn self. You are now a servant for the next, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, especially if there's a C-section. Like, you are a servant. You keep your mouth shut, your head down, and do what you're told. And I know a lot of people, men, were like, no. Sorry. That's the answer. Okay, cool. You don't have hormones rushing through your body like freaking fireworks, okay? Just shut up, do what you're told.
Husbands listening, I'm sure there's probably not many because it's.
We're talking about nipples.
The people listening to this are definitely women for sure. It's probably like 90% women listening to our podcast.
And we
but
like it that
if
way.
And they hate you.
you're a dude listening in, you gotta, and I wish I could go back and tell myself this, but you gotta just have the thickest skin when it comes to
No, you don't. You gotta humble yourself.
these conversations.
Did I say anything that mean to you?
You just said some pretty mean shit here. Like, I know you're not gonna be what I need.
It was
like,
pretty
ow.
intense. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't exactly what you were saying,
It's
more
how I
about
was
how,
saying it.
because when you're like, yelling, like that, I feel like it just really built up the intensity, and it's just like, you gotta really just like
But
take a deep
sometimes I'm
breath.
not even yelling. It's just you're very, very sensitive to my tone.
You were yelling.
No.
Yes.
I would say your tone can get a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
That's what she means, dumbass.
Exactly. Well, you're sensitive to my tone.
Well, I think any person
Well, your tone is annoying, so.
would. I think it's just very. I think, and it's okay. Like, I'm not blaming you because
Yes, you are.
that was a. What do they relate it to? After you have a baby, isn't it like you?
It's like you. They said, I don't know if this is true, but like they said on Instagram, it's like you've taken 100 birth control pills for the 9 months of your pregnancy, and then in 3 days your body's down to it's like taking nothing.
I'm confused.
Yeah. We'll never understand that. So thanks for the, example that we'll never understand. What's it like for dudes, what he meant to say?
But
Okay, it's like when you take, I don't know, pre-workout every day. I don't know.
essentially, it's just this massive hormone shift.
Yes, it's the biggest hormonal shift anyone will ever experience.
And we got this information from Instagram, so who knows if this is random Instagram reel that popped up. But yeah, I think.
Okay, next.
Yeah,
time, and
I can function on 6 hours.
yeah, anyway, so
I got I got a 6 hours of night's rest.
I got
and then
6 hours.
it was funny. The pain of recovering.
Maybe not this time. It happened. It's been stuck in my head.
Let's pretend that the shoulder dystocia never happened. I'm not you, but I feel like the C-section's easier. I think. I don't know. Maybe there's an emotional side I'm not seeing
You're
from
about
you.
to make so many people mad again.
I really hope I don't offend any.
No, you are.
So
Well, then
sorry.
why do you say stupid shit? It's not easy either way. How about that? How about it's not? There's not one that's easier. Okay, they're both ridiculously probably hard.
If I offended you, I
Because
love.
neither one is even remotely easy.
Of course, they're not. They're not. Yeah, they're both very difficult.
So I'm
That's how guys think, unfortunately. It's like, what's the easiest one? Let's do that. That's honestly what he's thinking. He's not saying what's the easiest one because I want to do the hard one and be like a superhero, where women would probably think that way when it comes to childbirth. There's this like, it's so mind-boggling to me as a guy when my kids were born. It's this like, and Kathy is not someone who stacks herself up against people, anything like that. It's just so odd to me that moms are in competition in so many different ways. Like when you go talk later, oh, did you have an epidural? They want to know all these little details. Like, who gives a shit? Guys would be like, what? But it is a thing, guys. It is a thing. And it's really weird.
just saying, I think
Like, guys have really cool cars and cool, like, tech shit. And you're like, oh, cool. Like, nice truck. Girls like, did you have an epidural or not? If you did, oh my God, chitter.
I know that I'm a good mom. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't. Not that I will never, like, question decisions I make or things that I've done to be like, okay, I probably could have done this better.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to check my phone now.
There's something I could have done here that, like, maybe I could handle this differently in the future.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's not, like, blind, like, oh, I'm doing everything perfect. But
Yeah.
it's like, I know in my heart, like, I'm a good mom.
Yeah,
I think I'm more
okay.
attractive now that I'm a father to 2 babies.
I don't know why, but it's like every baby we have, you just get sexier.
Really?
Yes.
That's so funny to me.
You don't think I'm sexier now?
No, I was gonna say people say online all the time that like there's nothing weird or taboo about breastfeeding, but I think it's so sexy when you breastfeed our kids. Why?
Again, I just said, yeah. Like, I know this is an intrusive thought type of thing that he's just saying out loud, and she's like initially like, just keep that to yourself then, okay, buddy? Like, we all like boobs. Let's be real. You find it sexy when your kid is breastfeeding me. That's an intrusive thought you keep inside your head. Okay, that's weird, and you said it out loud on the internet. That's weird, dude. That's like, again, like I said, that's now partitioned for feeding. It has a purpose for that. It's not for your boners.
Why is that? Does that make me a weirdo? That
Yes!
it's so hot when
Yes, it
you
does.
You're breastfeeding my baby.
No, it makes
Yes, it does.
sense, I guess.
I think it's
No, it doesn't.
hot.
Also,
Unless you just clarify that, okay, there's a boob and I see a boob. That's different. But he said it's sexy when you're breastfeeding my baby. Unless he's saying it's sexy that you're being a good mom. I don't know what he's saying. You gotta clarify that shit, bro.
how dare you? I'm just kidding.
I know. I'm sorry. I personally think it's hot for you. Like I just like to check you out. I don't know.
I don't know how to respond.
She got a little, do you know what I noticed just recently? She's a little bit looking like Robin Williams a little bit. Like if Robin Williams was a girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You're seeing
But
your wife.
I'm fully supportive of like women making whatever choice they want to make as far as breastfeeding in public. Culturally, we got a little weird with that. With like, oh, it's okay for a guy to be topless in public, but it's not okay for a woman. But culturally, though, like, call me a sexist or whatever. But like, I don't want my wife being topless in public.
Sexist.
I guess that's just kind of how I was raised. But at the same
You were
time,
not raised-
morally though, I really do think that like if you wanted to be topless.
He's trying to backtrack right now and it's really cringy.
Like it's like don't tell my wife what to do with her body, you know? Like I don't know. I just kind of think that's kind of how I feel at the same time.
Wow, thanks, short shorts.
I mean, I understand your.
That guy just said what he said out loud. Oh my God.
I
And if they have a mostly female audience, they are all just collectively gasped. Like, what an idiot. And their husbands are watching on the side like, did that guy just say that? What an idiot this guy is.
understand both things you're saying.
Like for people that
Good
tell a
thing
woman,
I don't want my boobs exposed in public.
like for instance, I don't like wearing shirts.
But if
so,
We know that.
If mother were to be
So
breastfeeding
if
in
women
public, I
told-
wouldn't
Or pants.
think anything of it.
yeah, but like in our culture, it's okay for me not to wear a shirt. I don't wear a shirt all the time on TikTok. But like,
And
We know. Mostly you don't wear a shirt. Ever.
a
some
woman- if a wo-
locations, most locations, you do
that's
need to
true.
wear a
I
shirt.
actually wear shirts a lot more now. I
Good.
do. But like, if a woman told me, Matt,
if
you
you
have
were
to
in
put
a
a shirt
restaurant,
on,
you couldn't just take your shirt off.
that's true. I'm not gonna just take my shirt off in a restaurant.
Yeah. Feeding your baby should not be viewed as, like,
Here.
something that is, like,
Taboo.
No. She wasn't going to say taboo. She was going to say sexual. But then she realized he had just said that it turns him on. So she had to backtrack what she was about to say. Because that's what women do. Women don't want to be viewed as sexual. When you're feeding your child, that's like, again, that's the purpose at that moment in your life for those things, okay? At that moment, like, maybe just maybe I'm the weird one, but I'm like, that's just, you know, fall in love with your wife when they're feeding your baby and you're like, they're being an amazing mom, they're singing to them, you're like, I'm asking my wife.
And if you're a guy,
no matter how you feed your baby, but for me personally, I'm more comfortable covered up while feeding.
But I think like if you're a guy and you're uncomfortable if a woman is like has her boob out, like just look away.
You're weird, Matt. You should probably stop talking.
You know, in public.
I think they should always look away.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Not even if they're just uncomfortable. Like, I think it's just always respectful just to look away. And so, like, in those instances where, like, we were feeding Griffin in public, like, on a plane especially, if it was, like, a high-intensity situation, I didn't care if I was covered up. Like, I was like, I just want my son fed.
High intensity?
And so I don't care if there's, like, if 60 seconds where I'm exposed here, they're like, I just want him taken care of right now. And then once everything's calmed down, I'll get covered up for my own comfort.
Yeah.
And partially out of respect for the other people around me, they might not.
See? That's where I like Abby. She's like, partially for respect to people around me. That's, you can't even say that nowadays, by the way. Just so you know, she get roasted for that. Out of respect for others, who cares? You know what? This is like, we all live in the same society. And we all can, like, you know, if you, it's polite, yes, you're right, not to stare, bounce your eyes, don't look. You don't want to be looking, that makes her uncomfortable. Okay? And at the same time, she can also take steps to be like, you know what, I'm going to put a little thing over this thing. And I'm not saying you have to, I'm just saying we all live in the society and it's a give and take place. But you're not allowed to be in the middle anymore, I guess.
To see that.
Yeah.
And so, it was just a mutual thing, but it's like,
okay, next.
Oh my God, I'm already crying.
She's crying again.
I was on Instagram, and my Instagram knows exactly what to show me, and it was a mom and his son at a wedding, and it was his first dance, or it was his mother.
I don't care. Anyway, there we go. We got through all the hard parts and the funny parts. Matt just said some shit out loud he shouldn't have said, but what an idiot. You idiot. Abby, again, that was Abby having wild expectations of her husband that just no human can ever understand. Saying these things out loud and still not backtracking on them, saying, you know what, now I realize I was asking you to read my mind and I shouldn't have done that. Nope. She was like, no, you didn't and you should have. And he's like, I tried. I don't know. I went donuts. I don't know. But he shouldn't have also said, I find it so sexy when you're feeding my child. Maybe, again, or clarify what you mean, okay? Because moms are amazing. And they, you know, yes, I wouldn't probably use the moniker sexy for a breastfeeding mother. I'd be like, you know, I fall in love again. You just find them so endearing. I don't know. There's other words, but Matt's just a effing weirdo. What a weirdo these people are. I hope they don't exploit this child. I really don't. But they have the old stuff on. They haven't taken that down because they still make money on it. So that's why we keep talking about it. But you guys, let's take a huge breath after that crazy shit show. Don't forget to do those. Those are really important, okay? If you're out there going through these processes and stuff, stop listening to influencers, okay? I'm serious. They're bullshit. Stop listening to weirdos on things. Cool? We agree? And for those moms out there who are like already veteran moms and veterans dads, you know they're all going through all this shit and you're laughing at it. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being amazing. Thanks for not exploiting your children. Thanks for being good moms, okay? You are incredible and valuable. Don't you forget it. And I will see you when I see you. Gus, leave Sam alone. Stop sniffing his butt, man.